Hey, it's Tami again. I'm sure you know me by now. And welcome to Module 4 of Holistic Life, Living Holistically. In Module 4, we're going to be talking about emotional health. So let's just get right into it. Get my screen share going. You know, living holistically, holistic impacts your emotional health, because we're including our mind, our body, and our spirit, and our emotional well-being is critical for anything else to happen. So again, I'm Tami Jersey Roberts, and functional nutrition counselor. You know, I'm healthy and thriving now, but it always, hasn't been like that. There was a time in my life that it was complete chaos, and I was stressed, and I turned to unhealthy foods, unhealthy relationships, and working all the time. And I never practiced self-care. I mean, it was just hectic. And, as a consequence, I got sick and I became way, way, way overweight, like more than 100 pounds. And, you know, everything has changed since then. So I just want to say that most of the changes came from me dealing with my emotional well-being before anything else could happen. So what you can expect today, we're going to be talking about mindfulness and, some amazing benefits during your mission to be living more holistically, from helping you to live in the moment and to reduce your stress and anxiety. Oh, the world is just jam-packed right now with stress and anxiety. And some of us are thinking that we've been like this so long, we think it's our normal. Well, it isn't your normal. So we're going to be talking about how to nurture good emotional health, the ways that self-care can impact your holistic lifestyle, and why reducing stress is key to living holistically. So let's dig in and learn more about becoming more mindful and being more self-aware, and how that could help you, to find clarity and understanding with who you are and who you want to be, and the things that might be holding you back. So again, I have to do the disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a mental health professional, so I can't be held liable for the information here. This information is just being provided to help you relieve some stress, burnout, and overwhelm. But if you need medical assistance, seek the help of either a medical professional or a mental health professional. Especially when you're talking about making major dietary and lifestyle changes, you want to make sure that everything is approved. I want to make another statement here that, if you are on medications and you start reducing your stress, you're going to notice that your dosage of those medications may not be right for you anymore. And so you want to, contact your doctor or your mental health professional to see if if the dosage you're taking of medications needs to be changed. So becoming more self-aware with mindfulness, we're going to be talking about a variety of different holistic methods you can use to live more holistically. Live in the present moment, reduce your stress and anxiety. So the first one I want to talk about is Meditate and practice breathing exercises. You become more self-aware by meditating and practicing breathing exercises. Meditation helps you focus your mind on being more mindful. It takes some time to get used to meditation if you're not used to it, but the breathing exercises are beneficial. So if you're new to this, just start by simply focusing on your breathing. Sit with your eyes closed and focus on your breath, because you'll notice when you're focusing on your breath coming in, going out, you can't think about anything else. And so it brings you into a meditative state. It grounds you, it centers you, and it de-stresses you. So do this for a few minutes each day. Even if you're sitting at your desk and you can only do 1 minute here, 1 minute there. If you can get that in 3 times a day, even just 3 minutes when you're starting, you're going to notice big, big changes. So focus on just one activity at a time. Mindfulness is about being in the present moment, but that's hard to do when your mind is concentrating on 5 different things at once. So realign your thoughts to just one task or one activity at a time. No multitasking. Avoid focusing on anything else during the time you're doing this one activity. If you're reading a book, don't let your mind wander to your to-do list or what you plan to make for dinner. When you're enjoying some time with your family, try to keep your focus on just your family and not what you intend to do afterwards. Just stay in that moment with your family. You'll feel your mood start going up. Slow down and sit in silence. It's not uncommon for us to be focused on one thing when we're doing something else. Maybe you always listen to music while you're going for a walk, or you watch TV when you're eating dinner. Try to do these activities in silence. When you're concentrating on the present experience, you know, instead of distracting yourself, try not to be constantly distracted. Try doing this during just one meal during the day. If this is something that you have difficulty with, and just focus on that meal. Look at the presentation, smell the aromas, be grateful for your food, bless your food, and don't read a book. Turn off your phone and just sit quietly and enjoy it. Enjoy the taste. Chew your food really well and just notice your body signals when you're almost full and just be in that moment. Be in that activity with no distractions. And move your body more often. Spend time each day moving your body, even if it's just for 2 or 3 minutes. And this doesn't mean that you have to do strenuous exercise or kill yourself at the gym, CrossFit, anything like that, but just get up and go for a walk. Do some yoga, some stretching, even just dancing around your living room. It elevates your mood so much. Regular exercise like this helps you become more self-aware of your body and your health. Like recently, I started going outside for 10 or 15-minute walk after I eat. And it has elevated my mood. I'm getting sunshine. I'm getting, more vitamin D from the sunshine, and I'm doing this, 2 or 3 times a day. And so I'm getting 30 to 45 minutes of exercise that I wasn't getting before. And so it really helps you appreciate how much more movement you can get. And even if you just start with 2 or 3 minutes a day, just standing up can elevate your mood. And so make sure if you're working, especially in an office, that you stand up and just spin around in a circle every hour, stand up every hour. It sends neurons and gets the neurons moving around in your brain. It sends the hormone messages from your gut to your brain when you stand up, and it elevates your mood. It helps you produce more serotonin, which is the happy hormone. So get your move on. So nurture your emotional health. When you're focusing on living a more natural and sustainable life, don't forget about your emotional health. So many people focus on the food, the physical health, and their environment, but they forget to think about their mental and emotional health. So let's talk about some easy and natural ways to nurture your emotional health. Find healthy ways to deal with your emotions. If you turn to food or other unhealthy habits when you are stressed, then you're just doing more harm to your emotional health than good. That was my big thing, emotional eating. A lot of people do it. Find healthier ways to deal with your emotions, whether the emotion is sadness, anger, frustration, stress, or even happiness and joy. I finally became mindful of the fact that when I got good news about something or I felt super happy, I wanted to eat and I wanted to eat junk food. And I was just like, Tami, what are you doing? And, it took that connection for me to realize that I was still emotional eating, whether it was a low emotion or a high emotion. And I just finally learned other ways to deal with those emotions. So think about the emotions or the feelings that you tend to bottle up. Do you have emotions that you're covering up with unhealthy habits? Maybe you eat a lot when you're stressed, or maybe you turn to alcohol when you feel sad. These are unhealthy, as you know, but not only are they unhealthy, they're actually harming your emotional health because you're not dealing with the emotions themselves. When you don't deal with them, they're bottled up and they're covered up. They don't go away like that. So some of the things that you might try to do instead is writing it in a journal. I always thought this was just weird and I never wanted to do it. But once I finally started journaling, I was amazed at how miraculous this is to be able to let the emotional baggage go. And it's an incredible tool that's so easy and it's free. And I'm talking about handwriting in your journal, not typing on a computer or iPad or your phone and not recording it. I'm talking about actually writing it in the journal because it's a physical activity that takes the emotional trauma or drama or good feelings or whatever it is, whatever emotion it is, it takes it out and it puts it on the paper and you're able to see it in front of you and it releases it from your physical body. And I don't really know why this works. I just know that it does. So definitely try it. Definitely do this. The other one that we've already talked about is practicing meditation. Even if it's only for 3 minutes a day, do this. You're going to be shocked, even taking 1 minute 3 times a day to close your eyes and focus on your breath. It's completely calming and peaceful, and it brings you back to center, and you're able to think clearly again. It's really amazing. And, as time goes on, you're going to love being in that state so much that you're going to want to meditate for longer. Because the first few times, if you're really stressed and anxious, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, is my minute up yet? I can't stand this, blah, 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 blah. And your mind doesn't want to shut that off, but just tell it to be quiet for a minute, for 1 single minute. And 1 single minute, just let it be. And just focus on your breath. Focus on your breath, and everything will actually just go out of your mind. And, start sitting with your feelings. Just feel the emotion. Especially, this is really good right before you're going to journal. Just sit with the emotion for a minute and then just write it down. Write it down, whatever you're feeling. If you're ticked off at someone or whatever's going on, just write it down. And what I do sometimes is I keep my journal for the whole week. And then at the end of the week, maybe Saturday or so around lunchtime or whatever, I rip those pages out of my journal. I shred them. I take them in my backyard. I have this metal bucket. I just throw them in there and I just light them on fire. I just burn them up and boom. I'm like, okay, I let this go right now. And all that junk that I've been carrying around, all that baggage just goes up in flames and I'm done with it. And I start feeling better. I'm uplifted and I'm just more peaceful about everything. So use mindfulness to be aware of your reactions. Mindfulness is a great way to nurture your emotional health by learning what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, and why that feeling's coming up. In each moment, you're understanding and appreciating, what you're going through in the present moment without worrying about the past or the future. Worrying about the future and all the what ifs is just one way to completely stress yourself out. And coming back into the present moment where everything is okay is where you want to live. Projecting yourself out into the future is, you want to just stay in your present moment. Each task and activity, is that you're doing right now is getting your full attention. You don't have any attention left right now to focus on what ifs. And you also don't have any attention to focus on regrets and things like that of the past. Those are the things that you want to journal and you want to let that baggage go because you can't do anything about it now except for let it go, forgive yourself, forgive others, and all forgiveness comes back to yourself. So you want to let that baggage go so that you can improve your emotional health. You can release trauma, you can release anything. You can enjoy and you can embrace the present activity that you're in. If you're worried about the past or the future, you can't be in the present moment. So get there. You want to just enjoy the activity that you're doing right now and then know the reason why you're doing it and just embrace it and love it. And, do that, don't even think about what you're going to do next. Just finish what you're doing and embrace it, enjoy it, and then move on to the next activity. So work to manage your spread. Can't even say it. I must be stressed. Work to manage your stress in your daily life. Stress takes a huge toll on our emotional and our physical health. I know there's a lot of people in my group that are having trouble losing weight. And one of the big reasons is because of stress. When you're stressed, your body holds on to stuff. And when you want to lose weight, you want to be able to let stuff go. So it's about letting go of that stress, being in happy relationships, not worrying about the past or the future. All of that is causing stress. And I'm not even talking about everything going on in the world these days. And for goodness sakes, turn off the news. I don't even want to talk about my opinion of the news, but turn it off. You probably don't need to know. Like, I don't even have a TV in my house anymore. I haven't for a few years now. Anything important going on, someone's bound to tell me. You know how people love to spread bad news. And if it's something urgent or important, I'm going to know. I'm going to find out some other way. And I don't have to watch the talking heads on the news. So I guess I did tell my opinion anyways. But anyways, anything like that is causing you stress, shut it off. You have control over that on and off button. So there's no better time than now to figure out what is triggering your stress and work on managing it in healthier ways. Once you can identify how you personally change when you're stressed, you'll be able to start tracking, what is causing the stress. And living in these times, many people are stressed 24/7, and they think that it's their normal way of being. Well, it is not your normal way of being. And sometimes people have to go way back to when they were a little kid to remember what it's like to feel playful and happy and creative and laughing and just being carefree. That is your non-stress state, and you can get there again. When you start tracking what's triggering you, this lets you know where you can start when it comes to, managing your stress a little bit better. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, your home, your environment. Just start noticing your feelings. And I'm going to be talking about, the signs of, understand your own signs of stress. Like, everyone is different. These are some of the most common signs of stress. And these can show up, physically or emotionally. Sometimes if you're feeling overly tired or fatigued, it's actually a sign of stress. If you're craving a lot of sugar, refined carbs, caffeine, that can be stress. Lack of focus or brain fog is stress for a lot of people. When you're super stressed, you just find yourself kind of in a tizzy in your mind and you can't make a decision. You can't even focus on the question. You know, if you have a lot of chronic pain, this can be stress. Digestive issues. Our digestive system does not work properly when we're in the stress mode. And I've talked to several people in our group about an app called Welltory, Welltory. If you search in our Facebook group for Welltory or find the app, either in the Apple or the other one, can't think of it right now, the Android version. It's an app where you can actually measure your stress levels and you can see it in black and white if you're in the green zone, yellow zone, or the super stressed red zone. Because our digestive system doesn't work properly when we're stressed because our vagus nerve and our parasympathetic nervous system is not active. We're in the fight or flight mode. And when we're in the fight or flight mode of stress, everything in our abdomen tightens up. Our blood pressure goes up, our heart rate goes up, and our digestive system doesn't move food through it. And it just doesn't work properly. So you've got to be in the rest and digest mode. And so, like I said, some of us are so used to being in the stress mode all the time, we don't remember what it feels like to be in the rest and digest. And that's why I suggested the app for a lot of people, so that they can see for themselves that, oh my gosh, I am stressed. I'm just so used to it, I don't even know I'm stressed. But when you start doing the breathing exercises and closing your eyes and shutting it down for 1 minute a day, 3 minutes a day, 1 minute at a time, just to start, you're going to notice when you go into that rest and digest mode, and you're going to love being there again because you've been there before. You may notice, mood swings, irritability, or, maybe you're snapping at people and things are coming out of your mouth that you're just like, my gosh, where did that come from? And things that you used to be able to just let slide, now you're just overreacting and acting, moody and yelling at people and things like that. And so these are all signs of stress. And you can deal with this for sure. You can turn this around. So let's talk about a few more ways that you can deal with this. Find more purpose behind what you're doing. Every action that you take should have a purpose. So if you find yourself, that you keep making decisions or doing things mindlessly, now is a good time to reassess that. Is it every time you're about to complete a task, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it just a habit? Do you have a specific purpose, or is it just a habit? The more meaning that you find behind whatever you're doing, the more nurtured and cared for that your mental health becomes. Spend time in nature. Spend more time in nature. We touched on this earlier. So if you're like most people, you don't spend enough time outdoors, unless you absolutely have to. Even if it's cold, if it's raining, but of course, some of the best time is in the sunshine, but the more time you spend in nature and really make this joyful, make it mindful, just make it a wonderful experience, the more self-care that you're giving yourself. And do this on a regular basis. I mentioned that every time I eat now, I go outside and I walk for 10 or 15 minutes out in nature. I'm soaking up the sunshine, which is helping me create vitamin D, which vitamin D gives us energy. It helps in the production of serotonin and our other happy hormones, and it makes us feel amazing. It elevates our mood. Nature allows you to be more grounded also and centered. You can stand in the grass barefoot or stand in the dirt, and you feel the energy coming up from the ground. You feel that energy coming up from the earth, and it just goes through your whole body. And it connects everything again, and it just makes you come back to your center and groundedness. Now, in the Facebook group, there's a link somewhere in there to a movie documentary. I believe it's called Earthing, and it's maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15-minute or so movie that you can watch on YouTube for free that documents all the wonderful benefits of connecting yourself with the earth. And it's totally incredible when you do this. The woman in the movie, one of the people that they interviewed, she's actually laying outside in her backyard naked right on the grass just to feel that connection. It feels so amazing. But anyways, there's too many mosquitoes in my neighborhood and too many nosy neighbors. So don't worry, you're not going to see me out laying in the grass naked. Oh, just have fun with it. Buy some flowers and some plants for your home. Bring some of the beauty from Earth inside to your home and your office. There's just nothing more wonderful than brush flowers, plants. Nobody can stay outside all day long. But when you're off in your office or in your home, bringing in fresh cut flowers or house plants, they give you oxygen. They elevate your mood, especially when they have a fragrance, they're colorful. We're affected by all of that. And, the color orange is the color for happiness. So put something orange maybe in the middle of your dining room table, even if they're just a bowl of oranges or peaches. They make you feel happy and uplifted. And if you have someone grouchy in your home, they won't even know that you're changing their mood by putting a bowl of oranges or peaches in the middle of the dining room table. And you're going to be kind of chuckling to yourself like, there we go. Just playing with you. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in. Color orange is uplifting. It's the happy color. So plants help you embrace the beauty of, what you're getting from outside. They help bring it inside. So definitely surround yourself with flowers, plants, essential oils. Oh my gosh, I love essential oils and herbs. I mean, of course you can make your own, but I never do. I just buy them. So make essential oils just part of your self-care routine. When you turn on an essential oil diffuser, I do this every night. About an hour before I go to bed, I turn on my diffuser. I take 5 minutes or so of just being silent, focusing on my breath. And I've got either lavender diffusing, chamomile. Usually I just mix them up, but there's plenty of other essential oils that are calming and bring peacefulness to you. In the mornings, you can use, fragrances like sweet orange or bergamot. Those are known for uplifting your emotional health. And you can have these diffusing, while you're writing in your journal, while you're doing your 1 minute of silence. Maybe you're doing your prayers. You might be doing some morning yoga or stretches, to build up your energy. I'm not an essential oils expert, but there are several people in the group that are. So feel free to post your questions if you have specific essential oils that you want to know more about. Just maybe post about your situation and ask them which oils they might recommend for you. So I think that'd be a great group activity because we do have plenty of experts available for that. Okay, so definitely want to unplug and relax without technology. People ask me, like, do you know what year we're living in? Like, there's no way that I can unplug from technology, but I'm telling you that this is one of the best ways to relax. Take some time each day to relax without using any technology. Now, I do this on my walks. I'm not carrying my phone usually. I do this in the evenings. I shut off my phone an hour before I'm going to go to bed. And I usually turn off my Wi-Fi in my house because I don't need it right now. It's just creating more of that EMF energy floating around my home. I'm probably getting it from outside of my home coming in anyways, but it's just a way to shut that down. We don't think that we're affected, but we are. And it doesn't have to be for a long time, but just put away your phone, close your computer, turn off the TV. You can read a book. You can do some light yoga or stretching, play with your kids or your dogs, go for a walk, or just sit and do something creative. Maybe you're painting or writing or cooking or doing something that you just feel creative and uplifted. Maybe it's gardening. Could be a lot of things, but definitely unplug and relax without technology. You'll be so grateful that you did. So why reducing stress is key to living holistically. If you want to live more naturally and incorporate into your lifestyle holistic living, you just can't forget about your mind and your emotional health. When you have high amounts of stress, you tend to look towards unhealthy habits to deal with it. And this is actually a big thing right now that I'm seeing with my clients. But there are many natural remedies as well. So we talked about essential oils a little bit, but I want to bring this back in because there are many, many stress relieving essential oils. Essential oils are extracted from petals, leaves, and stems, and various plants, herbs, and flowers. Some of the best essential oils for relieving stress are lavender, chamomile, lemon, orange, peppermint. And again, I said there are some essential oils experts in our Facebook group, so feel free to ask about the blends that they know of that work for a lot of people and just experiment and play with it. And sometimes you can even, take the bottle like this and just turn it and get a little drop of the oil on your fingertips, rub it together like that, and just rub it on your temples, across your forehead, right here on your nervous system, when you're rubbing right here, it just calms you down, especially if you've got some essential oils on your hand. The other thing that you can do is put a drop in the middle of your hand, rub your hands together and warm up that oil, and just cup that over your nose and your mouth. And you just close your eyes and breathe for a minute. Breathe for a minute. Just breathe in that oil and you're going to feel it immediately. Again, some of the best ones are lavender, chamomile, lemon, orange, peppermint, bergamot. You know, I do want to say something about peppermint. Actually, peppermint's not even there. I guess I'm just making that up, but you don't want to get peppermint in your eyes. You really don't want to get any of these in your eye because peppermint will definitely burn. You know, to relieve stress, again, you can put a few drops in a diffuser. You can add them to your bath water. And like I said, you can rub them on, you can breathe them. They're totally natural and they're actually good for your emotional health. So reach out if you want to get some help on choosing the right essential oils for you. Okay, so just take note of the bad habits that you need to break. You might have some habits that you're doing, you know, the opposite for you, in that, you know, they're harming your emotional health and your holistic living. These can often seem harmless, but they really take a toll on your stress levels. For example, if you use social media a lot, especially with notifications on your phone, it's giving you a constant source of stress. Now, my example of this is back when I had my chaotic life. I had social media notifications coming in from, I don't know, 5 or 6 different social media networks. I had text messages coming in from my clients. I had from the real estate business, I had other agents, clients, people texting me and calling me nearly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I never shut down the technology. And I had this thing going on in my mind. It was only in my mind that I had to respond to all of this and I had to do it right now. Well, that isn't true. It is definitely not true. And so now I have all my notifications shut off most of the time. I check my phone maybe every couple hours. I check my social media maybe every couple hours because I'm not getting any notifications. I have planned time when I go on social media. Depending on what I have going on, it might be 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it. I know I'm going on there for a limited amount of time, and I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm hardly ever just, you know, scrolling through news feeds and being mindlessly checked out. I just don't do that anymore. It isn't good for my emotional health. It disturbs my peace. So just keep thinking about things that you have control over that can bring you a more peaceful, calmer, stress-free life. You know, comparing yourself to others, this is super stress and it's a bad habit. And love yourself the way that you are. You're not like anyone else, and there's no one else that you need to be comparing yourself to. You know, it's almost like you're judging yourself, you're judging the other person. And just stop it. We already talked about the news. If you're reading the news, watching the news, Some people just get addicted to the news. They get addicted to watching the stock market numbers, and just do your best to shut that down. Seeing negative or toxic updates, whether that's on the news or social media, you need to shut that down. It's bringing you stress, even though you think you need to know and you think you need to comment and give your opinion, you really don't. It's better just to shut that off and look at all the beauty that's in your life right now. Just come back into the present moment. Just reading negativity, in the comments on social media, this is going to stress you out. And just because you disagree with someone does not mean that you need to start an argument. It doesn't mean that you even need to comment. It really means that you need to just shut it down, block it out. That's really what it means, because you're only concerned about your emotional health. You really don't have any control over how other people are feeling. When you feel better, you're also going to bring other people that feel better to you. So just be aware that if you're reading a bunch of negative comments and you're involved in a bunch of arguments, shut that off. You have control of that. It affects your mental and your emotional health. And that's why I'm asking you, just try it. Even for one day, you're going to notice a difference and you're going to be like, wow, I feel so much better. And just me talking about this is going to make you more aware of it. That no, Tami said not to argue back. Just walk away. It's okay. If you need to write your comment in your journal so you can burn it at the end of the week, that's totally fine. You don't need to be contributing to the negativity. And all this could be my opinion, but I have found that it works. So maybe you have some other bad habits that you need to break, that you want to break. Are you emotional or stress eating? Just becoming aware of it brings it to your consciousness that, yes, this could be emotional eating. And maybe I should just stop eating whatever it is, the little Debbie, and take a minute to close my eyes, focus on my breath for 1 minute, and then see how I feel. And then you can just put the little Debbie in the trash and feel great about yourself. That's the other side of that emotional and stress eating. You notice that you're doing it, and then you start beating yourself up. You're judging yourself for feeling guilty and no willpower and yada, yada, yada. We beat ourselves up so bad. We have such negative self-talk. And it's better just to write all that you're feeling in the journal so that you can release it. Forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You're aware of it now, and it's okay. And it'll be better next time. Take a minute, breathe, focus on your breath, and everything's okay. You're bringing yourself back into the present moment. Maybe you just need to take a walk outside for a minute and just ground yourself, get in the grass for a second. What are some other habits that you might want to break? If you're intentionally talking to people who you feel are toxic to your mental health, people that always want to argue with you, people that want to put you down, people who are not uplifting, people who are in the doldrums constantly, this will take a toll on you. And so be aware of it, because when someone is feeling great and someone is not feeling great, and it comes out as toxicity in the way they communicate, they can't even relate to someone feeling happy and joyful. There's no connection there. The emotions go up a scale. And you actually have to come down to their emotional level to be able to hit that communication level. And you can't stay there, not when you're working on your emotional health. So just be aware. I mean, I'm not saying, maybe I am saying that sometimes you just need to avoid people. You need to distance yourself from people, especially if you're already feeling a little bit stressed and down. You want to make sure that you're in a good emotional place before you're around those people. And sometimes you even have to evaluate the relationships in your life and see, if there's anyone that, you need to distance yourself from, or even just, do something about that relationship. Sometimes you can try to talk to people, but they don't usually understand what you're even talking about. But that's like a whole nother class, relationship training. But anyway, just being self-aware that you need to be on guard of your emotional health when you're around certain people. If you're not getting adequate movement during the day or exercise, this is a habit that you want to change. And I'm just saying, even if you just start this out with 2 or 3 minutes a day, you can start adding more till you're up to 20, 30 minutes. Like after you eat, just get up, walk around for 5 minutes, and you're moving. That's adequate. If you find yourself turning to stimulants like coffee and sugar and caffeine, other things, instead of trying to relieve your stress in more natural ways, this is something that you just want to become more aware of, so that when it happens, you're like, oh, this is coming up again. Like, I really don't want to eat that huge basket of French fries. I'm feeling some kind of stress somewhere from something. So let me just close my eyes and breathe and focus on my breath, and let me sit with that emotions that I'm having right now. And maybe you want to write it in your journal. And, eating the French fries, the sugary snacks, it doesn't help that stress go away. It actually makes you feel worse. And you already know this. So start becoming aware of when this is happening to you and other ways that you can deal with it. I mean, that's how it happens, baby steps, one moment at a time. So incorporate some adaptogens into your life. And when I first heard the word adaptogen, I didn't even know what that was, but adaptogens are a type of herbal supplement that helps you to better deal with stress. And of course, they're all natural herbal. You can get them in tea and supplements and essential oils. You can't always reduce the sources of the stress coming in your life, but you can help support your adrenal glands. Your adrenal glands are little tiny glands that are shaped like a little infant's cap, like a little triangle, and they sit right on top of your kidneys. And this is where your stress hormones come from. And after a while of being stressed, these glands can get exhausted, and that's what's called chronic adrenal fatigue. And a lot of doctors think that's just hocus pocus, that there's no such thing, but I see it all the time. And when people start supporting those adrenal glands with something natural like adaptogens, you see an amazing change on how you're able to deal with the everyday stressors in your life, especially the ones that you don't have control of. Things just start rolling off you like, wow, didn't even know that used to be a big deal to me, but now it doesn't even faze me. And, one of the most popular adaptogens for stress is called ashwagandha. Shazandra is another one, but I have several herbal teas that you can start drinking at night. There's herbal supplements that have a blend of different adaptogens that are especially meant for your adrenal health. So if you do need help finding something that's adaptogen, and you can even just look in the grocery store in the herbal tea section, it usually will say adaptogens right on it, or ashwagandha, shazandra, passion flower. There's a whole bunch of them. So if you do need help, lavender, chamomile, I'd be happy to help you if you need to refer. You can do like a referral for any type brands or anything like that. So even if you don't think you're stressed, still get the Welltory app, because one thing I just want to mention in this section about emotional health, you should be in the rest and digest mode every time that you eat, because this is what's going to help you release weight. It's going to help you digest the food that you're eating and absorb the nutrients. If you're in the stress mode while you're eating, your food just gets stuck. It doesn't move through like it's supposed to. It doesn't absorb like it's supposed to. You're not getting possibly the nutrients that you need from the food because you're stressed. So again, that app is Welltory, Weltory, and you'll find it for Apple and for Android. And I use the free version. I mean, that's the best thing. The paid version goes into a lot more detail about every aspect of your stress in case you can't figure out what it is. But the free version works for our purposes of knowing if you're in rest and digest when you're eating. So if you do have any questions, post them in our Facebook group, functional medicine, blood sugar masters. And so that's a wrap for Module 4. And so in Module 5 coming up, we're going to be talking about alternative medicine for your overall wellness. Thank you, and I'll see you then. I'm still on here. Bye.